Okay, let's see what day it is today. Today is the 3rd. Maybe I can find out. Hit that. Oh, wrong thing. Oh, come on. No, wrong thing again. Just, all right. It's Sunday, September 3rd, 2017. Again, I'm in my apartment and I got my screen there. Cut the sound here a second. See what we got here. I want to show that I use the computer and I use YouTube and that, you know, that type of thing. And I'm going to put the full screen on here, and I can talk while the TV's going in the background. And I'll check this video out later. I can move in here a little bit. That's a little better. Okay, I decided I'd make another video. I don't know, last time I set the camera, I kind of frame it up as best as I can. And then it's pretty much to where I can set the camera. Sometimes there's furniture in the way and different things. So I thought I'd make an interesting video, because I had a lot of things on my mind. I mean, there's lots of stuff I could write about, but first of all, I don't know how to type. I have a pretty good idea where all the keys are, and I know the basics, FDSA, JKL, semicolon, you know, that was kind of, you know, I used to sit in the class, and back then I was saying, well, don't think I'm going to get an office job, especially, you know, I was failing English. Wasn't interested in English too much. It's kind of boring. And I remember geography, we were studying Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, you know, talking about oil. Whoever put the books together probably worked for the banks or the oil companies, and, you know, telling you about Saudi Arabia, that, you know, they export dates and, you know, petroleum products, and they got lots of sand over there. And that's about all it was. The books I had, of course, didn't have Israel in, because it didn't exist when the book was printed. Or, you know, it just came into existence and they didn't care to put it in the book. But anyway, I don't care. You know, geography, it's interesting knowing where that is. I mean, the stuff we covered in geography had nothing to do with ethnic backgrounds of people here in the Mount Carmel area. You had people that came from Ukraine, and, you know, like people say that, oh, that's the Russian church, when it's actually, I guess they call it Orthodox Ukrainian or whatever. But, you know, people say that's the Russian church, or it's the Onion Church or something like that. There's lots of different ethnic backgrounds in this particular town. At one time, it had 48 church they were going, this is back probably in the 70s, 80s. I think there was an article about it in the 90s that there was actually 48 churches going in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, all of different ethnic backgrounds and stuff. We didn't have any blacks up here at the time, and, you know, Hispanics, you know, you would think there'd be some Hispanic people here. No, it was mostly Italians, Polish, German, you know, Irish. But, you know, it had a lot of people from different places and stuff. And, yeah, they probably could care less what was happening down the big cities, you know, riots and what have you. We didn't have that problem up here. Of course, now, if you said there's no drugs up here, you know, you'd be lying. There's a lot of, you know, different people. They've been having their problem with their drugs. Now my monitor went out again. I was saying it only stays, the monitor only goes good for a while and then it conks out. I think it's to save electricity on the camera. I don't want to go too long. Just wanted to explain as to why I don't type something. And I think, you thought I forgot about it. Well, I said, let me get back to what I was talking about. Because I've talked about 50 different things here, and that's the attention deficit disorder. Also, I drank a couple cups of coffee. I drink it without sugar. Probably a good idea too, not to drink it with sugar, because then I have probably even extra problems. It seems when I'm stimulated by caffeine, the way my brain scans everything, it's pretty cool now. Drink a couple cups of coffee and I get dozens of ideas for a story. I can even come up with like a basic, what do they call it? You're taking notes in your mind, but they call it a rough draft. Be a rough draft. And basically, if I could write down a couple key words on a piece of paper and start out with a few sentences, I could change that around and all that. Could really make some brilliant stories, and they would be pretty interesting. I got lots of interests. Halloween's coming up, and I like the story Rip Van Winkle, and I also like The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And I've read both of those, but I vaguely remember them. We had to do that in high school. We had to read Rip Van Winkle. Looking out the window today, there's a lot of clouds, and we've had some weird rain. Like the rain, it don't look like, the perfect day for rain. Usually, when you have rain, you see dark clouds and things get dark. Well, the sun's out, and there's a lot of clouds. Some of them are gray and heavy and stuff. But it does sprinkle around here, and now it's getting a little more unpleasant because the days are getting colder up here. So the rain naturally is cold. But like I was saying, and I have this big TV set behind me. What you're seeing there is my little monitor on the computer. It's not a bad size monitor, but I have a big TV set and I can get YouTube on it and whatever I can get on it and that. But like if somebody runs a YouTube thing, I can send it. Oh, by the way, I just noticed this thing coming on the picture. It's telling you that the copy's not genuine. Well, the copy on the original computer was genuine, except it changed hands a few times. So every time, you buy a computer, you have to buy new software supposedly for it, or they're going to plague you with the thing. Of course, I know some people could take that off of there, but what the heck. So I was thinking what I could do. I have, I'll show you. This is a clicker thing. Let me see. Do it like that. And it has a thing there up in the corner. That would be right here. Can you see that? Anyway, you push that. It's a microphone, and you talk into it. And you could ask it, give it a couple key words, and it'll put like a bunch of things together. And mostly it works on YouTube for some reason. I think you can work it on Google. And you can ask it a question or something, just like those things on TV that people are paying $99 for. And I don't know if they buy a subscription or something, but they talk to their machine. Now, as insane as that might be, you figure you're talking keywords. It's the same as looking something up in a dictionary, so it's not as crazy as some people might think. And I was thinking, I could had a question or something bothering me. I throw in a couple keywords, and on the background on the TV monitor, you would see what's going on. But that's neither here nor there. Now I'm talking too long. I get talking about stuff. But there's people come on here and they're pretty cool. You know, they act, you know, oh, I'm competent. I made a dozen of these videos, and things are working out just fine. But then they start reading an article, and of course they're not a news person that knows how to read and spell and, you know, get the words correct all the time. And I'm not saying they make an idiot out of themselves, because we've all had trouble where we come into these words that we don't know exactly what they mean or even how to pronounce them and that. And then you get some of these foreign words, and it gets funny. But that's all I'm going to do for now with this video. I just wanted to tell people that I'm on here quite a bit on planetary wisdom and respect, and that's run by my friend Paul Ebel out there in Johnstown. You know, he's the guy that runs it. You know, I'm supposed to be an associate editor, but if I start, you know, people always say they want to be on this. They want the group, put it that way, and you have to be approved. Now, I know at one time I could approve somebody. At one time I approved somebody that was a, you know, goth chick, and I wasn't paying too much attention, you know, to how old they were. They were about 16, and we got into a lot of stuff on the group. You know, we would, you know, put something up there, and it wasn't, you know, exactly suitable for teenagers. Then we figure you have people on there, and they're not realizing that the person that's 16 didn't say they were 16, and they might start arguing with an adult, and the adult could be in a lot of trouble by, you know, saying something to like a 16-year-old on YouTube. So you got to watch stuff like that. And we did cheesecake for a while. If you don't know what that is, that's like ladies in swimsuits, you know, like the police cassette people used to look at years ago. If you could see the ankles and that was considered pretty decadent. And let's put it this way, we've seen worse, but, you know, it upsets some people. You know, some people who even said they were cool about, you know, oh, that's pretty cool, you know, a swimsuit contest, oh, it's really, really nice. And then the next thing you know, for some reason or another, they didn't like the swimsuit, or, you know, they didn't wear enough clothes or something. It's kind of pointless, you know, trying to go over all that stuff. But anyway, that's where I'm coming from. There's lots of things I know I could write about, you know, and I'm never motivated to really write, you know. I mean, you could knock yourself out and make a perfect article. You could even run it by some people that, you know how to write articles, like journalists and whatever. And they could tell you where you're making your mistakes. I come on here and I'm just winging it, you know. I have no script. It's unscripted. But I've seen some people, they did an adequate job. I mean, I have one friend, I'm not going to mention any names right now. She tried to start a couple different types of blogs, or whatever you call them, and she don't spend enough time with them. She's not on every day, and she'll be gone for like a couple of weeks and that, and then, you know, you're going through like you're surfing the internet, you notice she has another blog. Some of the stuff she says is you know, she can't pronounce the words, so she's trying to make a point, but she's like choking on the words. And you know, you can forgive her for not knowing the big words, like they say. She wasn't that well educated, and, you know, had problems in school and that. You have to take that into consideration. But for the general public, they say, oh my God, you know, this woman has her own television show and she can't, you know. But of course nowadays, as you know, there's people who are on TV and they say things that aren't true, not naming any names, and are in high positions, and, you know, they say some really dumb stuff. Then they have like press secretaries saying what they mean or what they think they meant. Okay, so that's enough for today. I'm gonna shut it off, and you got another video. Deal with it, bitches.